any of you willing to campaign to repeal Senate Bill 54 and let political parties determine how to select candidates without state interference?
Okay. I am so glad I got this question because I think I'm uniquely qualified to answer it. I was the chairman of the Utah Republican Party in 2013 when the threat of count my vote was there. I was the leader that successfully negotiated a compromise to raise the threshold in the convention so that they would not gather signatures and try to change our election process. That proposal, thank you. That proposal didn't move, and because of it, we ended up with Senate Bill 54. We were promised with Senate Bill 54, I wasn't involved in those conversations, and I don't think it's good legislation. We were promised with Senate Bill 54 that we would have the unintended consequences of it cleaned up. One of the unintended consequences you're looking at, a race for governor by plurality, meaning one of us could theoretically win with 25% of the vote. Now, we're candidates in that. You guys agree? I just don't think that that's good for the public, and I don't think it's good for Utah. That was an unintended consequence that should have been fixed. It's been 6 years since that bill passed, or 5 years. It should have been fixed. Let me be really clear and really upfront with you on this. If I'm elected governor of this state, we will repeal and replace SB54 with something that makes way more sense than what we have right now. If we can get the full repeal, let's get the full repeal. The caucus convention system served us well in this state. It served us well. We elected a lot of wonderful people, and we should modernize the caucus system to the degree that it needs it so it's more inclusive. But at the end of the day, we can't have races decided by plurality in the state of Utah.
So this may come as a surprise to many of you because I, as lieutenant governor, one of my jobs is to enforce the election law. That's one of the duties of the lieutenant governor. And so when SB54 was passed and there were lawsuits, immediately you can't, in the state of Utah, you can't sue the state of Utah. You actually have to sue someone. So you sue the attorney general, you sue the governor, or you sue the lieutenant governor when the legislature does something stupid. And so so my job as the elections director is to defend the law, and we did defend SB 54, and it was held to be constitutional. What you may not know is that I fought against Count My Vote. I fought hard against it. My wife got into a yelling match with a signature gatherer at a Hobby Lobby in Orem during this time because they were lying about what they were actually trying to do and trying to accomplish. And so we fought hard about that. You might be interested to know the person that took my place in the House of Representatives was my cousin from Sanpete County, who ended up voting against it, one of only 18 legislators to vote against SB 54. Now, all of that being said, one of the problems we have right now is it is the law and it is here, and we're hurting our party by continuing to divide us and fight against this. What I would propose doing, and what I think should be done, is not put Count My Vote on the ballot, but keep my voice. The language that was put forward on Keep My Voice, I think we should put that on the ballot and let voters decide. Because right now, whether you like it or not, most Republicans like having choices. They like what's happening out there. So we need to make the argument. Otherwise, we're going to continue to hurt our party.
So in this election, I'll always tell you the truth. I'm like a truth or dare game without the dare. You can ask me anything, and we'll have the hard conversations that you've got to have when you want to be a leader, when you want to find common ground. I was the majority whip when we passed Senate Bill 54. The argument that Abby Cox had at the Hobby Lobby was about the way that this issue was being framed to the electorate, where they were collecting ballots. They said, would you like to vote for a governor, or would you like 4,000 people to make that decision for you? That was the decision that was being made. These signatures in ballots and in mass were showing up at the elections office to create an initiative under that type of narrative. That initiative eliminated the caucus convention cycle forever. I was not willing to see that under a false narrative, and seeing these signatures were showing up in real time at these election offices. It wasn't a guess. We saw the volume that was coming in and the false narratives attached to it. But as was said, fast forward till now, there was agreement we would solve plurality. There was a lot of agreements that have not been kept by those from the Count My Vote side. they tried another initiative after this agreement had been made. And I have not seen any progress made. And what we sought to preserve, we have. As governor, I would absolutely, if a political party and its party faithful and its grassroots would like to collect signatures, let them do it. If they want to have a dual path, let those political parties do it. If they want to have a convention and a primary system, let them do it. You need to have those options. And that is, I would absolutely support making sure that every political party has it. And by the way, let the free market, let's quit trying to save ourselves, each other from ourselves. Let's let the free market of political parties happen. If any party becomes too insular, if we decide to kick out the rest of the state of Utah and make it a closed deal, we'll lose elections. And then I think the party will look for ways to be more viable and more attractive to the public. If they lose the confidence of the public, let that process happen as it used to.
Yeah, Sally and I were up early this morning. We had a gathering in Orem with 20 to 30 students and other volunteers that were going out to gather signatures. I told them, I was thinking, Greg Hughes, why did you give us this process? Or how did we get here? This is and I like Greg. Yeah. And he told us the best he could in a minute and a half. But I'm thinking there has got to be a better way. This has been a politically divisive issue. I am a political outsider. I want to bring unity to the party. One thing I know for sure, we can do way better than SB54, way better. Like Thomas said, I would repeal that and look for something better, having gone through it. I was a champion of the caucus system. I've been a precinct chair before, although I've been busy building businesses and creating jobs. I've been a precinct chair. I was a state and county delegate. I enjoyed it. It was a great system. We could modernize it. We can make it better, but that's within our power. Look, this would be akin to me as a private business owner, and I've been a CEO several times myself, built businesses, and then become chairmen of the board. This would be like the public voting on who was my CEO of my business. You know, private organizations should be able to choose how they choose their leadership. That seems like a logical perspective for me.